Wyatt has herpes.
Wait, what?
Welcome back to another episode of the Angry Turtle Podcast. We have a great guest with us this week. Very, very excited. He has a great band called the Pork Pistols. You can see him frequent Bob and Tom. He has a YouTube channel, and his name is Donnie Baker, which is also the name of his YouTube channel. Donnie Baker!
Yay! Thank you, guys. It's good to be part of this Angry Turtle podcast. I was hoping it was Angry Orchard and we could be drinking beer, but I'll settle for a tortoise instead.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, Donnie. I got a question to start out here with. Just go over a couple of your alter egos. How they doing? I mean, do you still bring them out from time to time, or you got them in the bag?
Oh, I take medicine for that. You talking about sometimes when I get disturbed and almost venomous because my neighbor to the north told the homeowners association my boat was an eyesore. And I said, "So's your wife, Mitchell." I said it right to his face in cursive. Yeah, I hate Mitchell. He's probably my number one enemy of the state. And then I've got my idiot cousin Lonnie that is hard because it's basically raising a TikTok. My idiot cousin Lonnie, he bought a Mossberg 500 shotgun, and I was proud of him. I'm like, good, I finally can give my cousin his man card. And I go over there, and my idiot cousin Lonnie is looking down the barrel of the gun to see if he got it clean good. And I'm like, never look down the barrel of a gun, Lonnie. I mean, unless there's something lodged in it. So I took a look. And I got him, I checked both barrels. So that's what I'm dealing with.
That's awesome. You got some questions here.
How's your boat? How's your boat doing? Is you still out there kicking it on that beauty?
Yeah, but right now my boat's still for sale. And I know what you're going to know. Oh, how much? I don't put a price tag on it. It's market price. No different than catfish nuggets. Because if I need more money, I'll raise the price on it. If I'm, having a good day playing scratchers, I'll lower the price. My boat is for sale, but I ain't stupid. I make my money off of profits, man. I ain't going to just put a sticker on it like it's some kind of sale rack at Dillard's.
That's awesome.
That's a good call.
Yeah. Give us what is your favorite thing about the 80s, Donnie?
Yeah.
Oh, favorite thing about the 80s is it's coming back. It's giving us a whiplash. I mean, the fact remains, you see more 80s stuff now than I think you did in the 80s sometimes. Run DMC, yeah, they've gained weight. But the Bangles are still back. You remember the Bangles? Man, that was the only bitch band I think that was ever good. Well, because by the time the Go-Go's, when I was born, the Go-Go's were already in menopause. I had the Bangles poster above my bed. I had two posters above my waterbed in the 80s. I had the Bangles and Icky Woods, who played for the Bengals. But the Bangles poster had that hot lead singer, Susanna Hoffs. Remember her?
Oh, no.
Oh, fire ass hot. She looked like a Kardashian, except she could sing and had a soul. And I'd lay in bed and I'd watch Susanna and I'd start to chub up, and then I'd glance over at her bass player that looked like Larry Bird when he curled his bangs. So sometimes it was only hard in the middle.
Could you imagine? It's only hard in the middle.
Yeah. I guess when did you your style of pants? How did you choose that, Donnie? Is that just something you've liked all?
Big fan.
Yeah, big fan of your pants.
I did not choose wearing Zubaz because of my condition and my crouch and having 9 pounds of pork. Those were cool. The state said I had to wear something that was able to mask and protect the public from what was behind them steel doors. Because you have a hammer like I do, I can't wear skinny jeans like you two dicks. They'd accuse me of stealing a hammer.
So I hear you're a big Kid Rock fan.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking at him. This is probably as close to Kid Rock as you two guys will ever get. I'll say it right to your face. Dog with the dog, bitch.
Well, you're the only Kid Rock I want to see, so.
Yeah. That is probably true, though. That's probably.
Well, speaking of musicians, when did you start the Pork Pistols, man?
Man, we didn't start off as them. When we started doing my bands, my stupid neighbor to the north. Oh, is this another one of your garage bands? No, we're in a carport. I'll beat your ass. We started off as Dirt Knuckle, and then we broke up from that because Scotty Winkler was trying to lose weight, huffing paint thinner, and Dirt Knuckle, and then we were in Hood Snot, and then we were Nut Rag for like 2 years. But see, we're done with Christian rock. What we're doing with the Pork Pistols is way better. It's good. Hey, you know, it keeps kids off the streets. Bunch of stuff.
We almost called our podcast Hooker Spit.
Oh, I like it. That's another good band name. Hooker Spit.
Yeah,
I bet you that solves more problems than WD-40.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a fragrance going.
Yeah, we're gonna sell cologne called Hooker Spit. Yeah, it's on the market right now.
I swear to God. You sell that by the gallon, or better yet, sell it by the quart.
We'll send you a quart.
Yeah. I guess. What's your favorite state to perform in, Donnie?
Yeah.
I would say Kentucky because my favorite comedy club is in Lexington at Comedy Off Broadway's. And then I also love Louisville. Oh, how you pronounce the capital of Kentucky? Is it Louisville or Louisville? No, it's called Lexington, dumbass.
Oh.
I knew you guys would miss it. It always works.
I love that joke.
Yeah, that's. I almost actually went for it.
I said that to myself the other day, and I just completely butchered it. I was like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oops."
What's your question? What's another question you got over there that you've stored up? I know you're saving some.
What I got? Okay, I got a question. I know you have a thing going with Trailer Park Tammy, but what's a dream woman for Donnie? What's your dream girl?
Well, if you get her name right, it's Trailer Trash Tammy, dumbass.
Fair enough.
Fire ass hot. You know, there's nothing better, and I love that she's plus size. You know, because she's fire ass hot, and I put some of that ass on back order. Not to mention, you know, she and her and me think alike good. You know, she likes to go out, see the spirit of, you know, the wolf. She loves White Snakes, loves Kid Rock. She loves pounding beers. She can kill crickets with her hammers. I mean, yeah, man. We're both beating rabies and making babies together. You can't find a better woman for me. She completes me good. You know, she's my sloppy to the Joe.
Oh, so you're really in love right now.
I am. I'm not giggling over it. I ain't giggling like she is. But yeah, there'll be some discharge.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, that is awesome. Well, what do you think about the homeowners association? What's your thoughts about them?
There's probably a better or bigger assembly of what anybody that serves on a homeowners association and brags about it's what I call it, dick bastard. Because why come they get to make the rules? Why, who made them Supreme Court? You know, they probably got grubs in their yard too. I don't remember the Pilgrims going around saying, "Oh, we have to meet regular," because yeah, you might meet back in 1600s or medieval times when the Pilgrims had homes, but I'm pretty sure smallpox was able to kind of weasel things out and keep the neighborhood at bay. I hope you dicks are trapping some of this wisdom.
Yeah, I'm taking it all in. I'm actually got a beef with the homeowners association right now. Fuck the homeowners association. Yeah,
Donnie, where'd your fascination with whiffs come from?
I've loved whiffs ever since. You guys look at whiffs as like just a regular mammal. I look at them as a religious symbol. I study whiffs. I think I was raised around them. I probably know more about whiffs than anybody I know of. You know, right now, because climate change, whiffs are migrating. They're starting off right now, come down from Canada, and they're overtaking Wisconsin. They predict within 5 years, they'll be all the way over Wisconsin. They're on the move. I know where they hunt. I know where they migrate. I even know where they lay their eggs. I swear to God.
Yeah, that is great. That's awesome.
You'll never tame a whiff. You'll never see a whiff perform in a circus or in a public setting. You'll never train a whiff to go fetch unless you want your crouch hollowed out. And people wonder why it's come we ain't got pictures of Bigfoot. Oh, where's the evidence? What do you think wolves eat, regular dumbass?
So I guess if you had a spirit animal, Donnie, what would it be?
Ooh,
Probably the alpha wolf.
Oh yeah,
that's a good call.
Straight
Either
to
that
the-
or the bull shark. I like them both. They claim bull sharks got the highest T level of any mammal. Bull sharks are aggressive even when they're going through mood swings. Bull sharks are like Rottweilers with a chew toy. They don't care. They're always just starved. They're venomous. At no point do they stop feeding or breeding. That's just like me. You know, we don't die. We just multiply. I'm a baker.
That's crazy.
Is your neighbor still giving you shit?
No, I've got restraining. I called my attorney. I called Law Officer Peter Francis Geraci, got that straightened out. I'll turn his stepping stones into frisbees. He knows if he comes over, I'll put bird feed on his bug zapper again because I hate birds.
I like that.
What? So I hear you like fishing. So what's your favorite fish to catch, Donnie?
Probably catfish because, you know, catfish ain't got no scales. Second and foremost, you have to skin them. And I get plenty of practice with that because Patty Ferguson wears Spanx and I pull those down regular. I swear to God. Because that's where the meat is.
Now, when you were born, did you come out saying, swear to God?
Well, you know what? I don't know how I was born. I got no record of that because my mom Phyllis stopped scrapbooking long after my real dad left. But I know this. If I put a baby in Ronda Rousey, and I thought about this, between her M&A skills and what I learned at Discount Karate and my ability to use switchblades and other sharp weapons, if I put a baby in Ronda Rousey, our shit-ass kid would have come out carving his own C-section. Probably breach.
No,
You got a big thing for Ronda Rousey. I take it,
Yes.
Donnie, huh?
I did. I taught her the stealth fighter fist. She lost that fight to Holly Holmes is because she was trying to fight like this. I said, you spread the thumb and the pinky. It's like a stealth fighter. And the same reason God gave a catfish dorsal fin so it could cut through the crust of the pay lake. And I told her, I said, you spread this. You can go any direction here. It can even back up. Then when you get to the gizzard, you put down the landing gear.
Now, how did you feel when you found out she got married?
A little pissed off about it because it was some dick that had a beard, looked like millennial, looked like, he's all puffy, probably 350. You could tell he owned the shake weight. So typical, man. It's all politics. She deserved better.
I agree with you. She should be with you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a lot to keep up with here. But so I guess who's your favorite band from the 80s?
Ooh.
White Snakes, because David Coverdale's, I thought he had the best road beef. When Tawny Kitanes is your side piece, you're doing pretty good. Not to mention, he wrote my anthem, Here I Go Again on My Own, walking down the street like a drifter. Here I go again on my own. I wear cologne like Stallone. I know more about White Snakes than anybody I know of. I was raised on White Snakes. I looked like David Coverdale's back when I was in high school. My mom Phyllis tried to give me a box perm and I had to string it out. I look like him. But now he's aged, He's aged. He sort of looks like a Mickey Rourke's and his hair's thinned out like he belongs in Def Leppard's. I don't even think he's on city water. I think he's on a well now. You don't look good.
Donnie, you think you could wrestle an alligator?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, no doubt. Because first off, alligators got no way of checking their blind spots. So I'll come up from that 45-degree angle. Plus, their arms are short. People wonder why some alligators are always pissed. Probably because they can't masturbate good. It sucks. They have to go to the ground and find mud or some kind of opening or crevice and hope that they can penetrate it without getting pinched off by some kind of stone crab or something. They're ignorant and they're just dumb. But they've got no way to see you coming up, and I'll tell you, I'll say it like this. I pray for alligator miss me because all you got to do is take him by the tail and snap him like you would a beach towel in gym class. Just snap like a Slim Jim.
Oh, Donnie Baker's gonna wrestle alligator.
Oh yeah,
everybody
now
step
that's a pay-per-view right there.
Yeah, I'll pay to watch that any day.
And I was wondering, like, would you? I have an idea. Like, would you? If we do an impression of you, would you pick which one you like the best?
Yeah,
But you also might get your ass beat if it makes me look dumb.
Hey, I'll accept that.
Collecting your winnings.
Yeah. He said, "Yeah."
You want to start us off?
Well, just a lot of pressure now.
Yeah,
you know what I
know.
mean, I want to pressure. Go
pressure.
for it.
I swear to God.
Oh, you practiced that when you all nighted it.
Actually, yeah.
Swear to God. Yeah, that's all I got today. I swear to God. Yeah, you got it today.
I don't know, man. You guys you sound like that fat dick on South Park, both of you. It's real fast. You rushed it. And if I had to pick a winner, it'd probably be the dick with the yellow cap on his head. And only by a nose and only in a photo finish.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's
Fair
great.
winner.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We can get that out of the way. I got a fan that wants to say hi. Robbie Ashworth told me to tell you hi. It's actually my nephew. He said he's a lot bigger than me, and he said he would personally hurt me. So,
Robbie Ashworth?
Yeah. He said hi. So
Robbie with an I or IE?
I think it's IE, honestly.
Okay,
yes.
that dick owes me $50. Tell him I'll take it in scratchers.
Okay, I'll let him know. Robbie, you hear that? You can lay on my back, okay, now. Yeah, he's been bugging me too much. He's been bugging me. Like, stop pressuring me, Robbie.
Donnie, do you play any instruments besides the vocal cords?
Well, no, not much. I played trumpet in 8th grade, but that's only because Heather Stewart played saxophone and sat in a row in front of me, and I used to love to empty my spit valve on her bike. I swear to God, I did. Prove it. Sometimes it was spit, but how could she know the difference between that and sperm eggs?
I like your style.
Yeah.
I like your style.
So what do you what's your thoughts about trailer parks?
Ooh.
Man, I've been all around trailer parks. I think they make more sense in regular neighborhoods. Because you don't like your neighbor, you can up and leave. You know, it's basically our way of imitating hermit crabs. You can upgrade as you grow. You go double wide, triple wide. Hell, Kid Rock lives in one. So if our best president lives in one, why come it's too good for you?
You ever thought about running for president?
Oh, hell yeah, I have.
I'll vote for you. I've never voted, but I'll vote for you.
Thank you, because I got so many good ideas. There's a bunch of stuff I do. I just got to write them down good, you know. But yeah, I've thought about it, man, because I don't take nothing. Like I said, you ain't going to intimidate me. I ain't going to sweat. With Blitzer's at my door, who cares? Go ahead. Bring Britt Humes while you're at it. Go ahead and I watch Tucker. We'll beat your ass.
Well, speaking of beating ass, what really pisses Donnie Baker off?
That's a good question.
What really gets under your skin?
When people stare. I was in the elevator the other day. They just stared like a jack-o'-lantern. I'll take that as a threat, you know. That's why I hate statues. I'm glad they tore statues down because statues stare.
And it's your primal instinct to want to fight it.
I know it, man.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Like when a dog stares at me too long, like, careful.
I know. A lot of puppies will do that. You have to change them. No different when they wet the floor. Don't let them stare.
Yeah, I look
Those
at
are
them.
all pointers. Those are bird dogs. You know, you shouldn't have a puppy bird dogging. Think about it. If I went to a bar and just started staring at your old lady, you'd probably bow up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it was Donnie, I'd be like,
no,
but babe, it's Donnie.
Yeah. You got a defender on her.
Yeah, because I'm a better man and I'm trying to put a baby in her. So I appreciate you knowing where you stand in this equation.
So, which degree black belt are you, Donnie?
I've got 2 black belts, but it's because when I got my first black belt at Discount Karate, Dennis and Wayne and them had owned it. They sold the company Livestock and Barrel to Dairy Queen. So then, you know, I'm like, here I am trying to get my second black belt, but now it's Dairy Queen. Well, then they go to court and the judge said, you will merge, and that's when they became Taekwondo DQ, which was when I got my second black belt.
I like
And to
that.
this day, they got a drive-up window. You can go get your ass beat in a brass knuckle blizzard for under $5.
Now that's
I
a
swear to
bargain.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your favorite karate move that you got one perfected?
Scissor kicking. I love scissor kicking.
Oh yeah.
And I know now when I say that, people think, oh, Donnie's got some lesbian in him. No, I don't. I'm talking scissor kicking. That's where you in one fell swoop, you cut them and then you gut them. And,
Ooh.
you know, and I've scissor kick. I'd like to scissor kick them 2 lesbians from Oasis, too. They drive me nuts. But, you know, the reason last time I love scissor kicking is you use your legs. You can't get fingerprints off a foot. There ain't going to be no court date.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Mermaid? I know we're going all over the place, but we want to get your
We want to pick your mind.
Yes, sir.
Mermaids?
Oh yeah.
You know there's got to be some good pussy when it's that well protected. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Talk about caged heat, man. I love it. That's how we got in my neighborhood. There's mermaid pussy and institutional pussy. If she's been locked up around counselors, you know that's a playground ready to be open for business.
That's a solid point. That's a solid point.
Yeah.
That explains a lot in my life.
And it also explains popularity of French onion soup because that shit's been sealed from the start.
I got. You go. Come
Oh
on.
my
You
God.
ask a question. I can't. I'm dying over here. I am dying. I am dying.
Oh, my.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll ask. What's your favorite football team, Donnie?
I grew up Dallas Cowboys fan because they was always on TV back when I was coming up. You only had like 3 channels, and it was always Cowboys. Roger Staubach, Danny White, Tony Dorsett, Drew Pearsons, Raphael Septien, and they was the same team every year. But I was Cowboys fan because they had the hottest cheerleaders too, fire-ass hot cheerleaders. They'd show their whole crouch.
Sauerkraut.
Yeah, no kidding.
When was the first time you set foot on stage, Donnie?
It would have been circus 2006 or 2005 New Year's Eve, not for 2006.
And was that for your comedy wise?
Yeah, Bob and Tom tour. Yeah, I've been on stage for other stuff. Hell, our Dart League had a stage, but we didn't brag about it.
Did I guess what's your favorite part of the entertainment business that you experienced so far?
Oh, probably just getting to meet with people and signing titties after shows.
Oh yeah, I bet that's great.
That's not,
I know I had a chick a couple of weeks ago want me to sign her boobs, and she starts fanning her face. I said, "Is there a problem? Because I don't need your husband coming up. You know, I've had my share of domestics." She's like, "No." She's like, "I want you to sign my boobs, but I'm sorry, they're fake." I said, "It's okay. I'll just forge it then." I put Pete Rose and Ty Cobb on both of them.
Oh no.
Have you heard about this, Donnie? So apparently there's a thing where people like to get their assholes tattooed.
Oh hell no.
So
I've never heard of that.
Oh, there's a video. There's plenty of video.
What are you watching at home?
I can't imagine the pain, man. You know, getting her butthose tattooed. No kidding. I swear to God, that makes no sense. I mean, if you need a barcode there's too much traffic.
You know, that's true. If you need an exit sign, you know.
I wasn't prepared for that question. Yeah, I haven't watched that either.
I have a track record of finding weird shit.
Yeah, we leave him up to that. And so, do you find you have a favorite person that you do skits with? Or who's your favorite? I heard you say
probably Chelsea Lynn, Trailer Trash Tammy. I've done some collabs with her. Tom Mabe, the Prank King. I'd love to do some stuff with Ed Bassmaster and Chip Diamond. That'd be badass, man. I think he's probably the best one doing what we do. Yeah, but Trailer Trash Tammy has been my favorite so far, by far, because she's fire ass hot. and she puts out regular.
Are you a big prankster?
Not really, man. For me, it's like I don't see the fun in it. I like watching them, but I don't like really doing them that much. I'll sometimes, maybe go over to my hot cousin Amber's and show her a positive pregnancy test. But usually that just ends up in me getting pepper sprayed.
Yeah, I'm not a big prankster myself. I've never been a big fan. Like, I'll even see them, but like, it's gone too far nowadays.
Yeah. So, Donnie, did you play football in high school?
I played football 7th grade, but because of my condition, the pants didn't fit regular, so I was always off sides without moving. God. Same with basketball. When you got a pork sword like me, I'd be outside the 3-point line and they'd call me for 3 seconds in the lane. I was always in the paint.
Oh man, you got a dream boat that you would like to buy one day?
Probably the one that Pitbull's on, partying nonstop. Pitbull lives on a cruise ship, I think. He's got life right by the Nuggets. But I love having one of them big Pitbull yachts, millionaire yachts, like something you'd see. All them Hollywood stars that are, women fawn over, like Pitbull or Brad Pitt's or Bruce Valanche. So I'd probably be on one of them.
I could see you on one of those, just like a beer in each hand. Got Tammy with you.
Oh yeah, man! Can't you imagine?
Oh, that would be a party boat. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we don't need to drop anchor when I just hang the whole hog over.
Skadoosh.
Tsunami.
We got a speed break here. Yeah. So, what's your favorite alcoholic beverage, Donnie?
Oh man, I like mixing Mountain Dew with any kind of Beechwood aged beer. I call it Hillbilly Jaeger bombs. I invented that.
Hillbilly Jaeger bombs.
I swear to God, Hillbilly Jaeger bombs. Cause you can still get a buzz, but Mountain Dew, because it's a Mother Nature's nectar, cleans your system. My body's a temple. I ain't gonna be drinking White Claws and Aftershock and that stuff.
Could you imagine Donnie with a White Claw?
Oh yeah,
that wouldn't be suiting.
No. Yeah, no kidding. Not to mention, may as well just check into Bed Bath and Beyond. I'll say it right to your face.
I guess. But one last little crazy question here. I guess Are you gonna wing one after me? You want to wing one after me? Yeah. I'm gonna just ask you what your thoughts about belly button lint.
Ooh.
Oh, belly button lint. I've never thought much about it. I guess if you collect it, you could start quilting, but it would take a lot. Yeah, man, I don't know. I know some people use it, to put in soups, but I've never been one to care much about it. I just always right away, I guess you could, make your socks thermal, double up on your footies. But other than that, I got no opinion on it.
Well, speaking of soups, what do you think cereal is? Do you think cereal's a soup?
Cereal, wow, that's a great question. Yeah, if you heat it up, it is. I think cereal's a soup and no different than runny shepherd's pie. State law. Once you got mucus on the plate, that's a soup. At what point does a soup become a stew? Now we've opened a conundrum.
That's true. I think once you add
that's a rabbit hole.
Once you get thicker.
If you use a fork, it ain't a soup. Another state law.
I tell my friend that all the time because he's like, one chicken noodle soup, but he makes it so thick, it's chicken noodle stew.
Yeah, I think that's a stew.
That's
a rabbit hole we could go down another day.
That's something for Alex Jones to figure out.
They're making the soups gay.
Now that's a good impression. Donnie Baker needs some work.
I gotta work on my Donnie.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna get a little bit serious here, Donnie. We would like to speak to your manager, Ron, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, well let me go get him. There might be a costume change. Hey, Dave, they won't talk to you now. Hello.
Oh hey man.
Hey, how's it going, man? Hey Ron, it's good.
I love the soup stew debate. That is a very good one actually. So I think we might have to. We could spend days on that. But I think you're right. The fork. I think the utensil dictates what it is.
I do too. Like I'm glad we see the same way on that. Like because we've gotten gazpacho before, but like what I mean when that I don't think it'd be gazpacho's not really that in the same ballpark. I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Like a casserole. What makes it? Is it the layers? Is it? That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's something we're gonna figure out through this podcast eventually.
Exactly. If over time we're gonna have a set in stone answer.
Yeah, we need Gordon Ramsay on here.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have to trust the science on that one.
Yeah, definitely. So, Donnie, what inspired you to start doing comedy at the very beginning, I guess?
I was in sportscasting, so I was a sportscaster, and when you work in sportscasting in the '90s, you didn't really have the internet like we do now, where you could get a lot of information on your phone or your smartwatch, and it was very consuming. So to do sports the right way, I had to stay up and watch games, and so even though your show was maybe 3 hours, there was a ton of show prep, and I also could see that this was going to be headed down a road that we weren't going to be able to compete with Twitter and all these other things that make sports so instantaneous now. So I wanted to go down a road. I was always intrigued by stand-up comedy. When I was probably 13 or 14, our folks had gotten a satellite program called USCI, and I saw a stand-up special involving, it was almost like it was a comedy contest. And Dr. Gonzo was on there, Barry Goebel, I forget the other guys, but it was really intriguing to me to see these guys go on stage with nothing but a microphone. And John Fox was also one of the participants. And I also remember an interview where Eddie Murphy, I believe he told Oprah, at the time he had the #1 hit record and the #1 movie in the United States. And she said, what's more satisfying, having a hit record or a hit movie? And he said, neither, stand up, because stand up is instant. So if you get a joke, the audience lets you know right away if it's funny. Whereas a movie, it takes months to figure out if it's a hit, and likewise for an album. So that was very intriguing to me, that if Eddie Murphy thought stand up was the coolest thing ever, man, I've got to try this, because I thought he was just the funniest person on the planet at the time.
Yeah,
that's great.
That is great. I got to make sure to call you Ron. I called him Donnie.
Oh man, it's fine. That's
okay.
Fine.
No,
just call me Dick Byster.
So, when was the? Sorry, brother.
Go for it. Go for it.
What was the?
Winging it here. Let's go for it.
Now, Ron, have you gone on stage and done comedy as Ron?
Yeah, I started off doing that. So when I first started doing comedy, I would go to open mics at Crackers Comedy Club back when they had a location on the north side of Indy at Keystone at the Crossing. That was my first time on stage, and I went on stage as Ron Sexton, did impressions. I did very little as Ron, but I would basically do everything impressions. The drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket, Eddie Murphy, and then later Morgan Freeman, Dr. Phil. Much of what I started doing early on Bob and Tom mirrored what I did early on in comedy. But it was after I started doing Bob and Tom, I came up with Donnie. I realized the best route for me was to go full blown with Donnie Baker and just become the character. It kind of put me in on a different launching pad. I wasn't competing against 10 million guys trying to be brilliant or trying to be Bill Burr or trying to be eclectic. I could just kind of dive into this character and build my own brand. And there weren't as many people doing that. Granted, the ones that were doing it were mammoth. I mean, Larry the Cable Guy, I always felt like I was kind of picking up his scraps because the Blue Collar Comedy Tour was very well established by the time I came up with Donnie and started touring as Donnie. But I started off doing comedy just as Ron Sexton and doing mainly impressions. But that's how it started in the mid-'90s. And I was still a sportscaster, but comedy was where my passion was. And so I couldn't wait to go to open mics and work my way up to being, basically a light middle act in Indianapolis when Donnie was born in about 2005.
That's great.
Yeah, that's yeah. He said that's great.
I'm trying to clear my voice at the same time.
He doesn't know what he's saying. He's gonna say, yeah. So what inspired the character? I guess. Yeah. That's kind of an interesting story, also.
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I worked for Bob and Tom, when the phone would ring on the show, 99% of the time it was an impression of somebody. I wanted to come up with a character that when the phone rang, you couldn't tell whether it was just a cast member or an actual caller. So I wanted to come up with a character that made the listener wonder, is this guy real? So I did a lot of people watching. Donnie's based off of a lot of my friends that I went to high school with. And so I just put a lot of different traits of friends and a lot of people watching into a pot and mixed it up. I would go to Washington Square Mall. I'm not sure if it's even open, but this decrepit mall at the time had just about 4 shoe stores. It had a church, it had a gym, a Indianapolis Police Bureau in it, and a Luca Pizza. And I would just go there to Luca Pizza and get a slice and watch people. And there was a little arcade next to it. So you would see these, what I call Donnies, coming in and out of Luca Pizza and clearly unemployed, kind of strutting around like they had it all figured out. And I was really intrigued by that. And then also when Bob and Tom would have album parties, there was always that person in line that would just kind of not know his place and couldn't stay in his lane. And would go, I know your real name ain't Chick. Hey, watch this. You want to see this trick? Throwing everything at him when really all they were supposed to do was say, hey, I enjoy the show. Can you sign my CD? So I did a lot of people watching and meshed all of that together, and Donnie was born. So
do you ever get tired of playing the character, Donnie?
I don't, because unlike most comedians that headline will do a Wednesday through Saturday run in a club. And so they can change their material. I rarely do a full week of comedy. Most comedy clubs are Wednesday through Saturday. I am just usually on stage Friday and Saturday night. And then during the week doing Bob and Tom, I'm doing Floyd the Trucker, Kenny Tarmac, and other characters. So even though I've done this now, the same character Donnie on stage for about 17 years, it's not yet burnt me out. There have been some stretches where I'm like, the last thing I want to do is put on that wig and make that voice. Certainly, I think we all have moments, but for me, there's never been a point where I'm like, I've got to do something completely different. And I always wonder too, like with Mike Judge with Beavis and Butthead, was he was the reason they went off due to burnout? Was it over contracts with MTV? But for me, I've never really had that.
Did you ever think about actually just growing your hair out into a mullet?
Well, it's getting close. It's getting close. I mean, this is largely because my wig has thinned out. So I'm doing a little tribute to Peaky Blinders and then also allowing it to grow out. So
I think
this particular wig,
we'll stay away from you with the switchblade.
That's right.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how much has Bob and Tom helped you along your career path? Have they gave you a lot of advice? They pushed you along, or how's that all going along?
They've given me probably the most important thing, which was an opportunity and a platform. And and Donnie's still growing, and they've been fantastic, because I'll call in to Dean Metcalf, who's been their longtime producer, and say, hey, I've got this idea, and they're supportive. But I mean, they also understand if you go on and eat a dick, you'll kind of learn your lesson that way. So they have allowed me to use the show as a playground and to do different. When I started off doing Donnie, I had to travel a lot, and I hadn't traveled much up until that point. But that's where I came up with Kenny Tarmac, just for people watching on planes. There was always that person as soon as, hey, we just landed. I know, I'm a TPA, just got in from ZPL, headed to ORD. I'll call you from Carousel 7 when it's hot. And I just think that Bob and Tom have been so terrific because they've not micromanaged. They've not been standing over my shoulder going, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Let me see it first. Let's rehearse that. No, they've been, hey, the door's open, walk through it, but just understand if you step in shit, you'll be the one to smell it, not us. So
I like
they've been great. They've been just, absolutely fantastic for me. And it's for me, as someone that grew up listening to them, it's like a kid that grew up a Yankees fan and all of a sudden finds himself at shortstop. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's really great. Have you ever thought about having a podcast as Donnie?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing that next year and calling it Angry Turtle Podcast.
Oh, no. Don't you dare.
Yeah, this is real angry.
The Happy Turtle Podcast.
Yeah, I have, and for me, it's a little where I'm on the fence is that does Donnie host it? Is Donnie always a guest? Could I have different characters kind of host it? But I think I've got some things figured out. I've got a really good friend who also represents me, Jay Kanzler. He and I are working currently on that very thing for next year. So I think it's probably going to be a case where we can interview people in Donnie's world or just talk about stuff that we like, but he'll be the host and the straight man, and I'll get to kind of do what I normally do. So it's a really good fit for me.
I would agree. I'm definitely watching that.
Yeah.
Did Bob and Tom do a live show? They come out with a live show. I thought I seen something where they were doing everything right off the cuff.
They've done that before. It used to be called Live Day. As a matter of fact, that's where I got to meet Kid Rock the very first time, and the only time that I've met him was at Live Day. Tom has a studio called the Static Shack, and there was a time every year Bob and Tom would do Live Day where the commercials were live. At no point did they really take a break. Everything was done live. But we have not done Live Day in a long time. We just were live from Louisville at an event called Bourbon and Beyond, which was a lot of fun. because Donnie Baker and the Pork Pistols got to perform live there. And but the commercials weren't live. So, but I think that it's great to hear. You know, radio is kind of hard to do, especially when you take people to do radio well and you move them outside of their studio. And you're like, hey, let's go completely out of your studio, take you away from all your tools and all your tricks. Now go be funny. But I think it's a tribute to how good they are, and you know, certainly their pedigree and you know, and how long they've done it. I mean, you could put Bob and Tom anywhere, and they're gonna make funny look easy.
That's true. That's true. That's like, they just seem seamless. Like, I know sometimes we still struggle with like sometimes question format where we're like kind of like stutter. Obviously, I will.
Because we don't produce the show. We just we wanted to just wing it, and yeah, I guess the mistakes are the mistakes, and leave it at that. So
I really feel like I would still mess up even if we did play. I just
you did. Yeah. You did murder a name today.
I did.
But I think there's something to be said about being authentic. It's like what Dave Grohl said about, I think, the album before last. He said there are mistakes on this record, but he said that's kind of the endearing part for him, was that it took him back to being in garage bands where everything wasn't polished, everything wasn't overdubbed, there wasn't auto-tune. It was just rock. It was just, you could feel the passion for whatever song they were working on. And he was proud to say that there were mistakes. It was probably about 10 years ago. They actually would show up. I think there was a contest where they would show up and play in your garage, you know, for that very reason, so that it was authentic, it was raw and rustic. So there's something to be said about that. You know, not everybody has to be so well rehearsed and almost pre-packaged. It's nice to see something done in a very organic and authentic way.
Sweet. Yeah, we're supposed to make you gotta make yeah, no, we appreciate that. And it is definitely hard to be authentic nowadays.
Yeah.
It's ever changing. And how do you feel?
People sniff that out too. Just to give you an example, when I worked in sports, I worked for the Indiana Pacers and both the Indianapolis Colts. And there was one catchphrase that is still popular for the Pacers, and it belongs to Slick Leonard, God rest his soul, but it was boom, baby. And it was organic. It was something that he had said for years. When I worked for the Colts, we had meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. We had, you know, yell, scream, go horse, do the blue, any number of things. Well, it's kind of like in football. If you have 3 quarterbacks, you don't have one. If you have one good one, you have a damn good team. And so boom, baby came by way of just Mother Nature, or like I said, organically, of Slick Leonard explaining that, well, in sports, you know, boom is often said, and then baby, hey, come on, baby, let's go, baby. Well, he put them together when Billy Keller hit a jump shot, boom, baby, and the rest is history. But when we tried to manufacture that for the Colts, it just didn't work. So I think much like anything in life, sometimes the best stuff just happens, and you have to know when to capture it, and you have to know when to trap it and not let that get away. It's so hard to just go into, you know, a creative laboratory and come out with magic.
That is awesome. Have you ever thought about doing sports announcing as Donnie?
No, we did a bit on Bob and Tom where Donnie was in the booth early on when I did Donnie. It was kind of funny, but no, I mean, it would be fun, I guess, depending on the sport, to have Donnie make a cameo and be in the booth. And from a standpoint of me trying to get that video and hope that it goes viral, you know, just as a bit or a sketch. But I don't know, you know, although Monday Night Football kind of went down that road several years ago. Remember when Dennis Miller was in the booth, and a lot of people were very upset about that. And yet now look at Monday Night Football. You have Peyton and Eli Manning in his sock feet, you know, in his living room talking about the game, and yet it's become a home run. So sometimes it's not the concept, it's the timing of it. For whatever reason, America wasn't ready for a comic to be in the booth with Al Michaels, and I forget who the color guy was. It may have been John Madden. Or it may have been Collinsworth. I forget who Dennis Miller was with, but now all of a sudden America's ready. I think the ratings with Peyton and Eli are higher than the actual counter broadcast.
Definitely. I could see you doing it. Well, I'm a Cubs fan. I'm like, I want to see you at the Cubs. I want to see you do it. Do that.
Well, that's kind of an exception. You know, Harry Carey was almost a caricature. Harry Carey was a very polished broadcaster back when he was with the Cardinals. And then obviously he gets with the Cubs, and because the Cubs were just always so bad, and WGN was on during the day, it was one of the few things to watch, but people got a kick out of it. It almost became a caricature of himself. He really did. And so people would watch the games just to see Harry, you know, and then other teams would try to maybe mimic that, but Harry was authentic. I mean, he wasn't trying to do a character. He was just being himself. So it's funny how in sports, some fans are very picky that way. Like, I want my sports to be serious. This is serious stuff. But I think we've kind of loosened up in that regard, thanks to Harry Carey and some of the other stuff that we've seen over the last few years.
Yeah, I was a big fan as a kid in the 90s of Harry Carey.
I wanted to ask you, Ron, do you have any advice for anybody trying to either break out into the comedy scene or somebody who has a character idea and breaking that out into like utilizing their character in a certain way?
Yeah, it's much easier now. When I started, I had to go the club route. Now, we mentioned Trailer Trash Tammy. Man, just get a phone, hold it up and record and put that on Facebook or the internet. I'm glad I did it the way I did because I learned comedy before I learned the character. Now, in a flick of a finger, you can become viral on TikTok and you've got all this popularity. And then someone calls up, hey, we would love to book you. Well, great, but I don't have an act. All I have is one viral video and 10 billion followers, but I don't have an act. Holy shit, I have to find an act really quick. And one example of that is someone that is a good friend of mine, Catfish Cooley, that had a huge following, could sell tickets, but was trying to just learn comedy on the fly. It gave him great anxiety. It wasn't necessarily what he was wanting to do. And shortly thereafter, he shut it down and he's like, I want to rap. He had always wanted to rap. And so he followed that passion and he's made some great connections and even better videos. I'm so happy for his success. He's a great soul, but I saw him struggle with that very thing. But I think now in terms of doing comedy, it's better than nothing, man. You have so many outlets, YouTube, Facebook. There are stages and stages come in many different forms. And when I started, we didn't have that. That's not to say that you can't still do it from open mic to open mic to open mic. But I think the quickest way certainly would be to utilize social media.
It's a good,
that's really good advice. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, what he's saying.
Yes.
And I guess we're getting down to the end of the show.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug or anything you'd like to shout out or?
Yeah, we're going to be, I have some big dates coming up. I just completed my biggest road trip as a comedian and the entire time that I've done this. I was on the road for about a month. And my all-time comedy road dog dad was Tim Wilson. Nobody probably traveled more miles, but it kind of got me closer to my comedy dad doing that. And I hope he was proud of me that I put in so many miles on the road, because normally I'll fly in, fly out. Tim was truly a road dog and probably the greatest road comedian of all time. And he was proud to call himself a road comedian. But yeah, you go to DonnieBaker.com. I have a lot of big dates coming up. The Pork Pistols will be in Peoria at the Jukebox Comedy Club coming up around, I think it's the Friday and Saturday before Halloween. So we're encouraging fans to come out and be in costume. So that's a lot of fun. And then we'll have my annual visit to Comedy Off Broadway with the Pork Pistols in November as well. I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky, but all the dates are at DonnieBaker.com. So I can't wait to get back there on the road and do what we do.
That's really great, man.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Ron and Donnie, for coming on and hanging out with us and spending some time with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. This was so much fun for me. I really appreciate it.
And just before we get off here, I want to let everybody know why it has herpes.
Yep, he sure does. Guys, everybody, you follow Donnie. Follow Ron. Check him out. Come see him. Check out his website, DonnieBaker.com.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Check
yeah.
DonnieBaker.com. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. All platforms. Check us out. We got Facebook, Instagram. And thank you for watching. Comment, subscribe, everybody. We love to hear from you and see what you think. Maybe some of these questions. Ask, is cereal soup? What do you think? Let us know.
I love it. We have to continue down that path.
Yes, we got to continue, guys. We got to figure this out. We love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Peace.